Happy Columbus Day. Today, we celebrate the greatness of Christopher Columbus and the fact that he sailed ashore at the Guanahaní, an island in the Bahamas, on October 12, 1492. On his return in 1493, he moved his coastal base of operations 70 miles east to the island of Hispaniola, which is now the Dominican island, and established the settlement of La Isabela, the first permanent Spanish settlement in the Americas. The first Christopher Columbus celebration took place on October 12, 1792, where Christopher Columbus Order of New York, better known as the Tammany Hall, held an event to commemorate the 300th anniversary of the historic landing. The Christopher Columbus Obelisk in Baltimore was erected in 1792. Meanwhile, while we're celebrating Christopher Columbus, we in America cannot go a month without another alleged assassination attempt. After two failed assassination attempts and one person not named Trump getting killed in the process, crazy people once again tried to assassinate Trump, this time at Coachella, where Trump took the stage. Thank God for the heightened security, because they found Vem Miller, a person that tried to attend the Trump rally with a fake VIP card, had a couple firearms with him in his car, was allegedly ready to do the deed, according to the sheriff. It was just because of the fact that he had fake VIP tickets that he did not get caught. And that's when police searched his car and found that he had multiple firearms, which doesn't make sense because he took pictures with a bunch of right-wing people in the past. So why would he want to assassinate Trump? It doesn't make sense. Something isn't adding up, and that's exactly why, as soon as new information comes out about this person, has multiple names, by the way. He used a couple fake passports, so he has a couple fake passports with different names on them, and then he has firearms. So it's just a confusing story because they don't even know what's going on. Like I said, I'm going to update everybody as soon as I get the scoop onto what's actually going on. Like, did he want to assassinate Trump, or did he just have the guns in his car because he just wanted self-defense, or like what's going on here? As a person that has a firearms license, I would never take my firearms to any concert or anything like that, even to just keep them in my car. There was just no need for that. So without further ado, let's begin.
Facts over tracks, isn't that spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past.
Digging right in, we actually have a armed man, and this is according to the New York Post. We're going to be digging into this situation a little bit more. Armed man Vem Miller arrested outside of Trump's Coachella rally as local sheriff insists that it was the third assassination attempt, despite letting Perp walk on meager $5,000 bail. So they think that this is the third assassination attempt that they just stopped, but they're only going to let him out on $5,000 bail. That's exactly why I think that this doesn't make a lot of sense here. What is going on here? Local cops arrested a man outside of the Trump's rally in California on Saturday, and the local sheriff has doubled down on claims that the third assassination attempt was prevented, even though he let the suspect walk after posting a meager bail for gun charges. Quote, "I truly do believe that we prevented another assassination attempt," Riverside County Sheriff Chad Banchero told reporters on Sunday, a day after suspect Vem Miller was arrested at a checkpoint outside of Trump's rally in Coachella Valley. Miller, 49, was caught by police checkpoint, allegedly trying to enter a rally with a phony press pass. When cops noticed his car and was unregistered, they searched the vehicle and discovered a cache of fake passports and driver's licenses, along with a shotgun and a loaded handgun and a high-capacity magazine, officials said. He was soon booked on weapons charges and sprung after a $5,000 bail. But the sheriff turned around and told the Riverside Press Enterprise that his department all but saved Trump's life. Federal agencies, however, appeared to disagree. The Secret Service believes that it is unlikely Miller was attempting to assassinate the president, and the FBI is not investigating it as such. Sources told the Post, noting Miller is a member of an anti-government far-right group and probably had weapons for personal defense alone. The Secret Service later said that Trump wasn't at risk during the rally. The United States Secret Service assesses that the incident did not impact protective operations and former President Trump was not in any danger. The agency and the FBI said in a joint statement, while no federal arrests have been made at this time, the investigation is ongoing. Miller reportedly asked for a lawyer after the FBI tried to interview him, and briefly told the reporters that claims of his assassination, that he was assassin, was complete bullshit. But the sheriff stood by his initial assessment while speaking to the press on Sunday, calling Miller a lunatic, and was suggesting that the country might be, in that the county might also be for suggesting the lawman was being a lunatic, was being dramatic. What his frame of mind was, all we can do is spectate. Brinko said, if you are asking me right now, I probably did have deputies that prevented a third assassination attempt. If we all were politically lost, that we have lost sight of common sense reality, that the reason that we cannot say, holy crap, how did he show up with all of that stuff for? And I'm going to be accused of being dramatic. We have a serious problem in this country because this is common sense and reason. Blinko noted that any charges having to do with the assassination attempt would be handled by the federal agencies and not his office, and that he was working with both Secret Service and the FBI. So again, who do I believe? Do I believe him or do I believe the police? I believe the police. Okay. Again, what is the need? Okay, so let's just say if you explain away the charges of you having so much firearms inside of your car, okay, whatever, you have it for self-defense, you again should not keep it in your car. That's number one. Number two, why do you have so many passports and licenses with different names on them? That's just suspicious. That's acting like you're going to commit some crime and you want it to be falsely pinned on somebody else. That's what the whole entire idea of you having fake IDs are. So again, it's very weird, a weird situation. Nothing's making a lot of sense, and that's exactly why I don't think that we have all of the details here, and I don't think that the media wants to report on all the details. So like I said, I'm going to update all of you guys when we have some more information. This again did happen a couple of days ago. Again, see if there's any more info that does release. He did release a 20-minute video himself with a full entire statement and explaining his side of the story. Don't personally find any of the evidence that he gave compelling whatsoever because again, I believe the cops over him. So if you do want to go ahead and watch that, it's going to be linked down below if you do want to watch his side of the story, because I do want to offer both sides just because of the fact that I really at this point do not know what's actually going on. So again, I think that everybody should just make their own conclusions at this point. I think that it is very suspicious if he was an actual person trying to assassinate Trump. I think it's very suspicious that they let him off on such a low bail. So I think these are two unrelated things, but I think that he was just a little bit careless in his assessment to bring his firearms to this event in the very first place. I just would never have. Secondly, I don't think that anybody should have fake passports and IDs inside of their car, allegedly, according to the initial statement in the initial summary of why he's arrested for. Digging into the next article, we actually have a Daily Wire article. We have how a small Tennessee town survived Helene after the emergency response floundered. It was people in the community with the resources that they had doing what they could in order to meet people's needs. Kathy Voice huddled in a U-Haul truck for her 24-year-old son, 21-year-old daughter, and 5 cats as Hurricane Helen passed overhead. The heavy rains turns the Doe River, the wove through the town of Rome Mountain into a torrent. The Voice's rental home on the main street flooded along with most of the surrounding area. Voice and her family escaped with rising waters thanks to that U-Haul truck, which they had used to retrieve belongings from storage the day before. With her home given up or lost and her husband traveling for work, she had nowhere to go. With spotty service, Voice sourced for updates on her phone when she read that the First Baptist Church on Roland Mountain was accepting refugees from the storm. And I went, oh my goodness, I know where that is. I had to come to a service here one time. Voice told the Daily Wire in the church library. I said, okay guys, we're going to go there and we're going to tell Dad where we are and where we are, and you know, at least they'll have toilets there, they'll have people there, and it should be good. Helen made landfall in Florida as a Category 4 hurricane, but by the time it reached Tennessee on September 27th, it was downgraded to a tropical storm. But the rain compounded on heavy rains in preceding days and caused massive flooding across East Tennessee beyond anything that they've seen in nearly 30 years. Locals compared Helene's flooding to the flood of 1998, which caused widespread damage across the community, destroying the First Baptist Church building. After the flood, the church was rebuilt on the hill where it sits today, safe from flooding and at the center of community's AIDS efforts. Pastor Green Church has managed these efforts for about 2 weeks. The church has been home for about half a dozen families who lost their homes due to flooding and became a nexus area for recovery efforts after Red Cross station set up at the local high school lost power. On the morning of the flood, Pastor Street noticed that the Doe River, which ran behind his house, had started to swell. Within hours, it was in his backyard. He loaded his dogs in his truck and drove to the church. The church began to feed people almost immediately using food purchased from the homecoming celebration that was supposed to take place this weekend. We had already bought the hams and the meats and stuff that we're going to cook. So we said, we'll just go ahead and use them tonight. Cook a hot meal for people who need it, Street told the Daily Wire. About Saturday at lunchtime, we've been asked if we could start being a place to gather supplies and start getting it out to people that needed it, which of course the reason why we started was to love our neighbor, Street said. It just began to pick up more and more momentum from there. The Street's congregation on Sundays members were about 100. Since Helene, the church had been feeding several times that number on a daily basis. Street estimates that in the course of 3 days, roughly 1,200 families have grabbed hot meals at the church. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, has been absent from the Roan Mountain. Nearly 2 weeks passed before a female worker arrived at the church to deliver forms impacted residents can apply for assistance. It was the first and only interaction that the First Baptist Church had with FEMA. The residents of Roan Mountain were left largely to fend for themselves. In the first few days after the storm, though they were helped by the officers in the County Sheriff Department and crews from the Tennessee Department of Transportation. So the Tennessee County Sheriff Department and the Department of Transportation have to help these people gather supplies on themselves because the federal government is absent for 2 weeks later. So again, this is a complete disaster of FEMA because FEMA is supposed to be the first person at the scene, the Federal Emergency Management Assistance. They're on the ground 2 weeks later, which everybody could have easily died in that time. But of course, thanks to this community that they have there, they just fend for themselves and they don't really need FEMA. The reason why FEMA is even here right now is because it's not going to look politically good for Joe Biden, and also they're going to help a lot of people with their homes because of course a lot of these insurance companies just do null and void because of weather-related incidents. So unless you have that on your home insurance policy, sadly. Again, this is a really good story. This is a heartwarming story because again, this is exactly what the church is made for. Help the community, be a community spot to go to if you need help with anything. This is exactly why churches are there. So with that being said, we do have another article. We have millions and millions of pounds of meat is now being recalled at Walmarts and in other stores because of contamination with listeria. So that's nice. According to ABC News, a company is recalling nearly 10 million pounds of meat and poultry products made from the Oklahoma plant because they have been contaminated with listeria. Bacteria that can cause illness and death. Bruce Pack of Woodburn, Oregon, recalled nearly 5,000 tons of ready-to-eat foods this week after United States Agriculture Department officials detected listeria in samples of the poultry during routine testing. Further tests identified Bruce Pack chicken as the source, and the recall include 75 meat and chicken products. The foods include products like grilled chicken breast strips that were made from a company facility in Durant, Oklahoma, that was produced between June of 19 and October of 8th, and shipped to restaurants, food service vendors, and other sites nationwide, government officials said. The product has a best by date of June 19, 2025 and to October 8th, 2025. Officials said that they have been concerned about the foods that may still be available for use or stored in refrigerators or freezers. The product should be thrown away, they added. So again, you have to spend money on groceries that are is record high prices, and then you just have to throw it away now because they offered a recall. No, you should be able to go back to the store, get a refund, or get a fresh product because of that. That's what every single store should do. Eating foods contaminated with listeria can potentially cause serious illness. About 1,600 people have been infected with listeria bacteria each year in the United States, and about 260 die, according to the United States Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Listeria infections typically cause fever, muscle aches, and tiredness, and may cause stiff neck, confusion, loss of balance, and convulsions. Symptoms can occur quickly or last up to 10 weeks. So again, this is exactly why I only eat meat from ranchers that are locally sourced. That's exactly why I go to places like Good Ranchers and stuff like that. I love their meat. I love their chicken. That's exactly why I do not trust all of these big companies, because they constantly have recalls all of the time. It's just absolutely disgusting why we still have recalls in the year 2024. We should have better systems in place to prevent these things. And again, according to Axios, we have another recall at Walmart. This is on August 26, 2024. This is a couple months ago, but still, Walmart's apple juices sold in 25 different states recalled over arsenic levels, which is just crazy. The FBI says that current research indicates that the arsenic is more dangerous than organic arsenic, and the health effects from exposure are more severe. Yes, but the FDA also notes with Class 2 recalls the probability of serious adverse health consequences is remote. But still, Walmart Great Value apple juice recall. So the Tampa-based manufacturer Refresco Beverages, United States, voluntarily recalled 9,535 cases of Great Value apple juice sold in 6-packs with 8-ounce bottles, per the notice. The UPC for the affected products is 07874-29655-5, and the product's best if used date is December 28, 2024. Walmart posted a 46-page document listing the stores that sold the affected apple juice on its recall website. We have removed this product from our impacted stores and are working with our supplier to investigate. Walmart spokesperson Molly Blakeman said in a statement to CNN. The apple juice was sold in 25 states, Puerto Rico, and Washington, D.C. It was sold in Alabama, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Maryland, Maine, Michigan, Mississippi, North Carolina, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Tennessee, Virginia, Vermont, and West Virginia. So this is just crazy here. 25 different states have recalled, but this isn't the only recall story for the past couple of months. We also have 12 items that were recalled in Idaho at Walmart and Trader Joe's. So this is just absolutely crazy. Again, Walmart and Trader Joe's recalled items. The recall affected products were made from Bruce Prack's plant in Durant, Oklahoma. So another plant in Oklahoma has reached several popular stores like Walmart and Trader Joe's. So if you got any of these products at home, it's play it safe. The recall includes 75 different types of meat and chicken products, including grilled chicken breast strips produced between June 19th and October 8th. Yeah, I guess these are both kind of the same aspect, but this also includes brownies and cantaloupes and mac and cheese and Purdue chicken nuggets and cinnamon brands. So again, we're seeing recalls after recall after recall. That's because of the fact that there's in these factories, if you go in, there is so much there's just so much wrong with the way that we produce meat in America. It's just highly disgusting. And then we have a recall months later after people have already eaten these products. It's absolutely disgusting. And we should look into this as America, because we should not be eating meat in the 21st century or the 22nd century going into. It just doesn't make any sense. How is this even a thing? The monitoring systems that we should have in place should be way higher than this, that we should not have to worry about potentially eating something with diseases in it. It's just disgusting. So with that being said, that's going to do it for this episode of the Demetrius Joe Show. If you did like this episode and you do want to see more, I do post new episodes of the show every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.